Your planning, whether you're a hobbyist photographer or you're running a photography business, is killing your photography, is killing your business. And I see it constantly. In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can plan properly, how you can do stuff properly to grow your hobby, to grow your business without handicapping your photography. So let's get into it. Let's start first of all, and we'll cover both off here, but let's start first of all from the hobbyist perspective. I see it constantly. I hear from people constantly. I'll get a phone call. Will you take me out so I can photograph grizzlies in Southern Alberta? We'll talk about it. I'll tell them while we're having the conversation, I'll take you out, but I do not guarantee that you're going to see any grizzlies. Yes, I saw grizzlies yesterday. Yes, I saw them last week, but I don't guarantee it. If they're interested in me taking them out, I'll send them a form. It's actually a contract that says I'll be happy to take you out, but I do not in any way, shape, or form guarantee that you're going to get pictures of grizzlies. People want me to take them out and photograph northern lights, even if there's a 95% chance of northern lights. That does not mean that it's going to be a clear night. So I'll phone people. I'll tell people, let's go out to take northern light pictures, but understand, I'm still charging you for this. I'll take you out, but I don't guarantee if we drive for 2 hours or 3 hours to get to the perfect location and the northern lights don't materialize, or it's cloudy, or whatever else happens, I don't guarantee that you're going to get pictures. And I go through it constantly. Perfect example. And this couldn't have been any better for this video. But a number of years ago, I was heading down to Glacier National Park in Montana. I live about an hour and a half from Glacier National Park, so I can get up in the morning, go down there, take some pictures, and I'm back home for supper or just shortly after supper. One of my longtime customers heard that I was going down there and says, "Can I come with you, Mike? My husband's busy that day. Can I tag along with you? I'll give you some money for gas." I said, "Sure, no problem." So I picked this person up on my way to town. We headed down to Glacier. And she says, "What do you think we'll see?" I said, "I really don't know." She said, "I'd really like to see a grizzly." I said, "Oh, there's a potential of seeing a grizzly." As we got to Glacier National Park, we saw a grizzly. Not even in the park, outside of the park. We saw several grizzlies in the park. We saw a mother with a yearling cub. We saw a massive grizzly that was gorging on berries. It was just amazing. We saw black bear. We saw moose. We saw sheep. We saw, you name it, we saw it. Elk. We saw everything. It was an amazing day. We got back home shortly after supper and we had shot thousands of pictures. It was an amazing day. Monday came around and I get a phone call early Monday morning from this person. She says, "What did you do to find all these animals?" And I says, "What do you mean, what did I do?" And I knew she was joking. She says, "Well, my husband heard about how many animals we saw and he wanted to go down and see them. So Sunday morning we got up bright and early. We got down to Glacier really early and we saw nothing. We didn't even see a squirrel. We didn't even see a bird. There was nothing down there." She says, "It was like somebody vacuumed up every animal in the park." And I laughed and I says, "Welcome to my life." And it's so true. I've gone down to Waterton Lakes National Park and I photographed bears. And there was bears everywhere. I then went down a day later or 2 days later or 3 days later with a client and we saw nothing. We didn't even see bear droppings on the trail. There was nothing. So don't get so blinded to everything else that you're going out for looking for just one thing because you won't find it. Likewise, business people, don't get so tied into your business plan, your goals, that you ignore stuff that's actually working, or you don't make the changes that you need to make when it's necessary to make them. Now, I'm not saying don't plan. If you could see on my desk, I have notes here, notes over here, some more notes here, some more notes here. I have notes everywhere. I have plans everywhere. I have goals everywhere. Some are day plans, some are week, some are month, some are year. I have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. I have plans that I follow. I've set up my business plan. But I also know that things change. And things change really fast. Whether that be a tariff on a product that I can no longer afford to bring in, a manufacturer that stops making that product, or whether it's just the way people change what they like. For example, when I was shooting weddings, one of the big things when I started weddings was in-studio formal pictures. When I started weddings back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I got really into weddings, I got a studio, and 99% of my weddings were in studio, the formal pictures. Within a couple of years, that changed dramatically. I could have done without a studio because, well, probably 99.999% of my weddings were now outside. So to say that I'm having a massive studio with 5 different shooting rooms and I'm paying $10,000 a month on rent would have been stupid when most of my customers wanted pictures outside. And it goes constantly. Things, well, become trendy, become the required must-have. Oh, I have to have square pictures. Really? Nobody's ever bought a 5x5 picture, ever. And all of a sudden, I just sold 3,000 5x5 pictures for one client. Weird. That's just weird. All of a sudden, somebody will come in and say, oh, I want borders on my prints. Really? Borders have been like, nobody's wanted borders lately. All of a sudden, everybody wants borders. Things change. Our business plans have to be flexible enough to change with them. I tell this story when I'm teaching. This happened a number of years ago. A local photographer who was doing really well wanted to get a loan. In order to get the loan through this government organization at pretty much 0% interest, they had to take a business builder program. As part of the business builder program, they had to do up a business plan. They had to do up a 6-month, 3-year, and 5-year business plan. So this person sat down and did up the business plan. Sat down with industry experts, sat down with teachers, sat down with bankers, sat down with tons of people and built this amazing, and I mean amazing business plan. They actually showed me the business plan when they got done. We went through it. It was great. It was wonderful. It was fantastic. They got an extremely high mark, plus they got the no interest loan. So they were able to buy new camera equipment, new computer equipment, and they were able to use some of that money towards advertising. They were happy. They were ecstatic. Now, this wasn't a new photographer. This wasn't somebody who had just started out yesterday. This photographer had been in business for a number of years. Within a few weeks after putting into effect this business plan, they noticed their sales started to drop. Then they noticed their sales started to plunge. They couldn't figure out what it was. They were doing everything the business plan told them to do. And the business plan was flawless, according to the business plan, according to the experts. But things got worse and worse. After several months, they came in to talk to me about it. And they said, yeah, our sales are way down, da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, I noticed you're not printing near as much. They said, oh, no, we're printing hardly anything. So we sat down, we went through their business plan a little bit more in depth. And as part of their business plan, they wanted to get bigger into doing weddings. They actually wanted to become a wedding powerhouse in Southern Alberta, where they would not only photograph your wedding with still pictures, but they would photograph it with video. So they really marketed towards that. But while they were marketing towards that, they cut off a lot of the stuff that they used to do. Some of the stuff that they used to do was headshots. Some of the stuff that they used to do was engagement photos. Even if they weren't doing the weddings, they would do engagement photos. Family pictures, couple pictures, all of this stuff they started to cut off because it wasn't what they wanted to get into. It wasn't part of their business plan. But what they didn't understand was when they cut off their business portraits, when they cut off their graduation pictures, they cut off the feed that was feeding their wedding business. They cut off the money that was paying them to stay open. And they were making beforehand $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a week on little jobs. But they were told by the business experts that they needed to take this time and invest it into marketing their wedding business. But they didn't understand that little jobs was the marketing towards the wedding business. And things plummeted fast. Not only did they lose that money that was coming in that they were making on the little jobs, but they weren't making as many referrals on the weddings. And when we sat down and went through all this, we found out where it was very quick. And part of the business plan was no longer will we be targeting the small $100, $200, $300 jobs. We will now target the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 weddings, and we will start targeting the higher end weddings, and we will start. And it just kept going on. But they sacrificed all the stuff that was building their business. So what can you do as a hobbyist photographer? What can you do as a business person so that your business plan that you're planning is not, well, destroying your photography, destroying your business? Number one, use a plan, whether it's a business plan or a personal plan, as a guide and only a guide. If you want to go out and photograph waterfalls, that's great. Hire somebody to take you out and photograph waterfalls, or go out on your own and photograph waterfalls. But understand, if you're walking down the trail to a waterfall and you see a beautiful mushroom that's just perfect, that would make a great portrait on a wall, stop and take that picture of the mushroom, because you don't know if that waterfall is going to be a failure, it's going to be a success, whether people are going to want it. You know nothing. So take pictures of other things. Likewise, don't get so driven to do one thing that you ignore everything else. Again, I get people constantly contacting me. And when they contact me to take them out, I send them a contract and say, I don't guarantee that you'll get pictures of this or that. But I can guarantee you that we will go out looking and that we will have fun doing it and that we'll probably find other stuff to take pictures of. And if you go out with that attitude that there's other stuff, that you can have fun, that you can do other stuff, you'll enjoy photography and you'll get more pictures. Likewise, business people, don't set up a business plan that's so rigid that it actually sacrifices what makes you good or makes you great, what sacrifices the income that you already have. Be flexible enough to know that you may have to do small jobs until the bigger jobs come in. Be flexible enough to know where your money is coming from and don't cut off that source. Take the time to be flexible, to change, and to do different things. Number two, have backup plans. Again, if you want to go out and take pictures of waterfalls, great, wonderful, fantastic. But if it's a drought and the waterfalls aren't running, don't just sit at home playing video games or watching TV until the rain hits. It's not worth it. Likewise, if you have a business plan to be the best wedding photographer in North America, but weddings are going down, there are not as many weddings this year as there was last year, and you're getting lots of bookings for next year, don't just sit on the couch with your feet up. Do something else. Go out and take graduation pictures. Go out and take engagement pictures. Go out and take headshots for businesses. Leave your marketing material. Build your business up through that. Finally, whatever your plans are, and I don't care if it's personal or whether it's business, not only be flexible, not only be willing to change, but be willing to learn from other people and other things around you. So much stuff in my business changes almost on a weekly basis. Whether it's a tariff coming in that all of a sudden makes a product too expensive, whether it's a change in what people are looking for. Be open enough to investigate what other people are doing. See what's selling. See what people want. Somebody may want waterfall pictures today, but maybe tomorrow they want northern light pictures. See where things are going and be, well, ahead of the curve. Likewise, business photographers, don't get so stuck in something that it's going to handicap you. Be willing to change. I say this constantly. When I started in the wedding business, indoor, formal pictures were a big thing. Huge studios were a big thing. $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month in rent was a common thing. So you had all that space to have weddings inside. But I saw the change coming. So I didn't go with a huge studio. I was prepared to go outside and do pictures outside. I saw that change and I was able to adjust to that change. So be flexible and learn from other people. So until next time, whether you're a hobbyist or whether you're a professional, get out there, take some amazing pictures, be flexible in what you do, and enjoy the photography. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.